Good evening, everybody, or good morning, or good afternoon, whenever it is that you happen to be watching this. If you're watching live, hi. If you are watching the replay, welcome to my channel. As some of you may know, my name is Chi. I am hair doc Chi, hair coach Chi, the curly hair doctor. It depends on where you know me from. But wherever you found me, wherever you know me from, welcome, and I'm happy to have you here. So today, I'm live streaming about, or talking about, 5 things you can do right now, things you can do and you can start doing right now to boost your hair growth. And when I say hair growth, I use the word growth because that's the generalized word that people use for, seeing physical length happen on their hair. Really, what growth is comprised of is 2 things. The actual speed of growth of your hair coming out of your scalp, which is determined by your genes and also sometimes by your health, depending on if you have anything else going on with you at the time. That's one factor. The second factor is your length retention. And that is what people really should, well, that's what they mean, or what's wrong when people are struggling with hair growth. It's that they're not retaining the length. So if for example, you grow half an inch of hair every month, if half an inch of hair breaks off every month or more than that breaks off, then you're not going to be retaining any of your length, and it'll look like your hair is staying at the same length every single month in, month out, and you've had your hair that length for years. So that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about today, ways to improve your length retention, ways to improve your hair growth rates from within. So that's really, that's what I mean specifically when I talk about this. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's share this. This is my first time using the software I'm using, which is StreamYard. You can see at that side of the screen. This is powered by StreamYard. So you're going to have to bear with me if I'm trying to figure my way out around the screen. And also I have to apologize for being late because, well, this little dude woke up and he wasn't very happy. So I had to sort him out first. Now he won't let me put him down. Typical. Anyway, let's get started. So point number 1 I'm going to start with is what I mentioned in my last video, my Q&A video, was exercise and water. I mentioned them as separate things, but I'm mentioning them today together because, well, you'll see in a second. So why I say exercise. Exercise is very good for you on a whole. You have no idea. Even increasing your activity levels by 10 minutes a day can make a massive, massive difference. I've seen studies about this. I did not bring those studies because we don't want to go into too much detail. But the point is, there is research proving that exercise improves your well-being massively. And as I say, in pretty much every video that I make, when the body's happy, your hair can start to be happy because your body prioritizes your hair last. It's literally the first thing that gets shoved out the door when your body has things to focus on in terms of taking care of itself. Hello, I have a comment. Hi, welcome to the live stream. Okay, so exercising and drinking water. So the things that exercise can do for you. Exercise is great at getting your muscles moving, which causes, so when your muscles are moving, they are demanding energy. When your body demands energy, it's forced to break down the food that you've eaten to break down that energy, which means you make use of it rather than storing it. When energy is stored, it ends up being fat in places you don't want it, or floating around in your bloodstream. Your sugar floats around your bloodstream for longer than it should, which can lead to things like diabetes, etc., etc. Not going into too much detail about that, but we demand more energy, which means we need to take more in. And I'll come to that later, actually in point number 2, about what to eat to give yourself the right amount of energy as well as supporting your body. But here are the other cool things about exercise. So when you exercise, you actually increase your sense of well-being. Yes, you actually increase your well-being. One, psychologically, you know you're doing a good thing for your body. Everybody knows that exercise is supposedly good for us. We don't entirely like it. Most of us don't really like to exercise. There's some people who, by routine or by habit, or even by personality, like exercise. That's not most of us. It's not me. But when you do it, the more you enjoy it, and the better it is for you on the inside. So not just the psychological effect, but it also increases your well-being, because when you exercise, your body releases dopamine. Now, dopamine is a hormone that, yeah, it's a hormone that is good. It basically gives you that sense of well-being. It's where the word dope comes from. It's that thing that gives you that high, that feeling of pleasure, that feeling of just overall happiness. Do you know what I mean? So more exercise, more dopamine. I'm not saying you need to overdo it, because all things in moderation, but exercise is good for you. Another thing is, so why I've put it with water. Exercise increases your circulation around your body, your blood circulation. And we already know that the blood carries all our nutrients, our oxygen, and our water, and our glucose, everything that we need around our body, to the places where it's needed. So when you exercise, you increase your heart rate, which increases your circulation. Your heart pumps harder, pushing blood to the extremes of your body, or the extreme recesses of your body, causing all those things that your body really needs to reach those places that it needs to, especially our scalp. So in terms of drinking water, now why I would say when you exercise, you sweat more, so you need more water. So you need to drink more water to be able to continue to sustain yourself, because as I mentioned in my Q&A the other day, water is a very, very powerful molecule for body processes. Not just that, for when you keep yourself hydrated, you keep your skin hydrated, you keep your hair hydrated, because the water starts from the inside. In fact, all the goodness when it comes to skin and hair starts from the inside. It starts from what you put in your body and what you do with this body. But here's the other thing. In our daily lives, we encounter many, many, many toxins. If you live in a hard water area, there are toxins in your water. When I say toxins, I mean things like mineral deposits they can end up on your skin, they can end up in your hair, and that can kind of sometimes be what's the word I'm looking for? They can be limiting factors in your hair and your skin health. So not just those, but things that we eat can contain things like, preservatives, for example. So if you eat processed food, preservatives are in the food to make sure that it doesn't go off while it's on the shelf. Eating fresher food is actually much better for you than eating things that are preserved. But there are some, it depends on what preservation method they were subjected to. So all those toxins, drinking water helps you to flush out those toxins. And when you cause the body to do this process of running the blood through everywhere, especially your kidneys is what are your body's filter. And your liver is what helps to neutralize and break down toxins, processing all that stuff to get them out of the body. When you do exercise and push all these things around the body quicker, it kind of helps to flush them out. Drink water, that helps to flush them out, as opposed to causing them to be stored. Now, another very, very useful factor about exercise is it's not what we're targeting, and it's not what I'm saying you should focus on, but it's a happy side effect, let's say, a happy side effect of increasing your exercise levels: weight loss. And when we lose some additional weight that we might have been carrying, especially most of us during this lockdown period, we're now in our second lockdown here in the UK. Pity us, guys, pity us. Second lockdown. But yeah, when you engage in a sedentary lifestyle, which means you're not doing much in the way of exercise, you don't get around very much, you don't get out very much, you end up storing a lot of fat because you're eating the same way you would have. You might be eating more, but you're eating the same way you would have normally, but you're doing less of the activities that would have used up that energy, or that would have demanded that energy. So your body's like, don't need this, let's put it away. And it ends up on the hips, it ends up around the tummy, and you don't want it there. But when you start to increase your exercise levels, your body's like, oh, I need that. I don't have enough food to kind of balance this out, so I need that. I'm gonna have to break that down so I can use it. There is a study I read a long time ago which mentioned that toxins are sometimes stored in fat. So when we exercise or we increase our exercise levels, we start to get those toxins come out into our bloodstream, and they can then be flushed out of the body. So exercise has many, many benefits. So let me see, because I made notes for this. I came very, very prepared. Oh yes, my favorite one, because I like to sleep. I just don't get very much of it because I'm a mother of 3 children under the age of 5. So another good thing that exercise does for you is that it helps you to sleep better. Now, that sense of well-being generally is a good thing for sleep, But when you exercise, moving the hormones around your body faster. Hormones are a very slow messaging process, because they rely on a buildup of hormones in that particular, in whatever area they're trying to send a message to, for them to be able to deliver the message. It's once the concentration reaches the concentration it needs to be, then the body starts to think, oh, I need to do this. So it takes a while. If you're moving that stuff around your body quicker and more regularly, think about it, it will do what it's supposed to do. If you feel better generally, in fact, if let's say, for example, dopamine's moving around your body, you feel calmer, you can sleep easier. The other thing is you're wearing yourself out, you're exercising a lot, so you can sleep easier. The other thing is, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, exercise just helps you to work your way into a good sleep pattern. What you just need to make sure you do is don't exercise within the 2 hours before you go to bed. Try to leave it about 4 hours. If your last exercise, let's say you go to bed at 10, your last exercise cannot be any later than 6 p.m. That's it. Even if it's going to be a little bit of light stretching. I've started doing Pilates, but whatever, Pilates recently. And that, it feels amazing. It hurts a lot when you're doing it, but it feels amazing afterwards. It's really good for you. Also, if you've ever heard of I'm not going to use that word, but let's just leave that. So yeah, exercise can do a lot of good things for you, particularly when your hormones are concerned, and including where your circadian rhythm is concerned. That's your ability to sleep on time and wake up on the right time as well. So that sluggishness that you might have been feeling, and that tiredness that you might have been feeling during this really, really difficult year, might go away if you start, not go away, but it'll improve if you start doing some more exercise. Just 10 minutes increase a day. Try it for a week. Increase your exercise levels by 10 minutes a day. See how that goes. By the next week, you can increase it another 10 minutes, or even increase it by 5 minutes. If you manage to do that, you'll feel better each time you do it. I'm not saying end up doing like 2 to 3 hour a day exercise sessions at the end of the day, but it's completely entirely up to you. But increasing your exercise makes a big difference. And of course, drinking enough water during the day as well. All right, point number 2, avoid yo-yo dieting. Please avoid yo-yo dieting. Now, here's the problem with yo-yo dieting. In fact, remove the word yo-yo for now, right? Dieting. The word diet just means the things you eat and how much of them you eat, right? The word has now become associated in our culture with a specific way of eating. We remove this, and for a period of time we eat only this. And I'm not a fan of things called cleanses. I'm not a fan of. The reason why I say that is because when you think about how your body works, how your digestion works, and how, even if you throw in the factor I just told you now about exercise, how all of that stuff works together to make your body function, a cleanse is not going to do what people are promising it's going to do. It doesn't do that. If anything, cleansing out your colon and things like that might help to, clear out your system so you're not constipated, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it's not going to magically solve a whole bunch of problems. That's not how those things work. Things have to be done gradually, especially when it comes to our body. Our bodies are very delicate. Okay, yo-yo dieting. Every time you do a drastic change, like eliminating a whole food group from your diet, that leads to your body having to adjust to that massive change. And when our body has to adjust to a massive change, what happens is it leaves the hair to the side. It's like, oh, wait, hold on. We're not eating carbs anymore. Hold on, we need to figure out how to do this. It's going to start breaking down. I think we go from carbs to fats to proteins. I'm just thinking in terms of starvation. God, I have no words today. I'm just so tired. So your body can go in starvation mode, and starvation mode there are several levels of starvation mode. So there's when it starts to burn available fats, because that's a quick way to access energy. And then if it doesn't have any of that to burn, or it's experiencing this difficulty for a longer period of time, it'll then start to burn or break down protein. So with people who engage in diets where it involves, for example, fasting for a long period of time, Fasting has benefits. We'll probably have to talk about that some other time, or I'll share a video on one of my pages that tells you more about that. But you relying on that as a method of weight loss is unhealthy and unsafe, because there are lots of factors that determine whether or not it's safe for you to do that kind of thing, which is why it's important to talk to a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a doctor before you jump on any diet. I have a friend who pretty much has always been on diets since she was a teenager. She was always changing diets. And her hair has been at the same level or same length for years and years. We're not teenagers anymore, and her hair is still the same length. And we finally had a conversation about her hair recently, and I asked about her diet because it's part of what I ask about in my consultations, and she told me she's always been dieting, and I'm like, yeah, I did notice a few times she posts stuff on social media, and I'm like, yeah, you need to give your body everything it needs to be able to work well. What people are not aware of is that weight loss can be achieved while eating and increasing your activity levels. I'm not saying exercise a crazy amount to lose that weight. In fact, I wouldn't even advocate for losing weight in a speedy amount of time either. If that's a natural byproduct of you increasing your activity levels by small increments, then fine. If it's suddenly a thing where you have to eliminate a food group because maybe you developed an intolerance or an allergy, allergies, you definitely have to drop the food group. There's nothing to be said there. But when it's an intolerance, even there, I'd be very careful as well. But if it's just that you need to, let's say, for example, you've just made the decision to go vegan, I would really advise taking it gradually, weaning yourself off things, as opposed to just cold turkey. Unless it's a medical condition that causes you to have to drop that thing right now, take it gradually. Anything that is a harsh and drastic change will make your body say, nope, hair is not important right now, we're just going to chuck it out. And you'll start to notice hair falling out. So we're trying to prevent hair loss as well as boost hair growth. Now, avoid yo-yo dieting. What you should do instead. Now, I believe in adding things to your diet. If you look at your diet and do a stock take of your diet and check out what you've been eating, what you haven't been eating, you may notice that a lot of us have changed our diet over this lockdown period to very, very unhealthy, snacky type diets. I have to be honest, I never used to eat crisps. Now I eat crisps a lot. And it's just because they're easy food and they're accessible. And there's a whole lot of stuff to do with crisps that I don't even want to go into. But one of the things is salt. Okay, salt. But also a calorie is not a calorie. You can have 1,000 calories of things that include vitamins and minerals, or you can have 1,000 calories of purely fats. No, go to bed. Go to bed now. No, go to bed. Night, bed. That's my little child telling me that she's hungry. She's not hungry, she just had dinner. She does this to find a way to get out of bed. Okay, back to what I was saying. I believe in adding things to your diet. Add the healthy things in and try to increase them. Eat more of those healthy things. I didn't say cut out anything else. You can even continue to eat crisps if you want to. Just don't eat them every single day, and don't eat like a whole bag full, like maybe eat a handful. Even if you want to eat them every day, eat a handful. Like reduce it small, just make it smaller. Throw in your leafy vegetables, your leafy green vegetables, and throw in your proteins. Really, really important things for hair growth. I will explain why now. So a lot of us have recently been suffering from things some of us have been suffering from hair loss. During the lockdown period, it was known that amongst the trichological community and people who know hair that it's going to be likely that there's going to be hair loss for many different reasons. But one of the reasons being the stress of this whole coronavirus craziness, but also diets have changed. Habits have changed. Everything has changed. That's a lot for the body to deal with. But if you're experiencing symptoms such as hair loss, low mood, fatigue, brittle nails, any of these symptoms, I would advise going to see a doctor and telling them that you're feeling this way, because it may be that you have iron deficiency. And iron deficiency is a big, big thing when it comes to hair growth. What people don't realize is that their hair growth is stunted because they are anemic or they have low iron. Even if you have low iron, that can be a thing as well. Like you're fine. You're not going to keel over and faint because it's low, like you're in safe levels, but your hair is not at its optimal level at that, do you know what I mean, at that level of iron. So what you can do, and this is why I say green leafy vegetables and your proteins, particularly meat. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, I have a whole list of foods that you can eat that will provide you with non-heme iron that you need to continue to to combat anemia and to help you be healthy. So basically, iron is needed in the body to help your body transport your oxygen around the body, basically. There are other things it does as well, but that's one of the big ones, which is why you may experience things like shortness of breath or fatigue, or even low mood, really, and poor sleep and things like that if you have low iron, mostly because you're not getting enough oxygen to parts of your body that you need them to be. So, and you're not getting rid of carbon dioxide the way you need to be getting rid of it. And so that makes you feel unwell. Okay, let me think. I have to keep checking my notes because I really got a ton of stuff to tell you today. And I'm only on point 2. I'm not doing too well, am I? Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so drastic changes to your body, iron deficiency. Iron is a big one, it really is. Even if you can take something like a friend of mine mentioned Spartone today. Spartone is a very good thing to take. It's a supplement that can come in a juice. It's sort of like a liquid juice sort of format, and it doesn't taste that great. At least it didn't last time I tried it. But it can be added to something else that you're drinking, and it's just easy and very digestible. It doesn't have the same effects that iron tablets have on your body, and that will help to fill in that gap. But really, I would advise going to see your GP, taking a blood test first, making sure that your iron is either low or and do discuss with them. Tell them that you would, if your iron is low, you would like to be on some sort of supplement. And if there are any reasons or any medical reasons why they would advise against it, then they should let you know. But really, if your iron is low, try and take some sort of supplement. Anyway, so when I say, for example, people that eat meat, meat has a lot of iron in it, particularly red meat. That is heme iron, and it also contains some non-heme iron. But to get that stuff out of the red meat, you need a lot of calcium. If you do not eat your green leafy vegetables alongside your red meat, your body is going to leach calcium from you to break down that red meat. That's why I say always, and this is a tip that I've said to people in person, I've never said it on YouTube, always make sure that you pair something like a steak with, or anything that you're eating meat with some green leafy vegetables. Leafy vegetables, not your peas or whatever else. No, the green leafy vegetables. I'm talking curly kale. I'm talking Swiss chard. I'm talking spinach. I love spinach. I'm talking those kind of things because they contain calcium as well as non-heme iron. So they're giving you additional iron as well as helping you to break down the iron in your meat. If you're vegan, I have this list here to show you. Let me just show you. Oh, good grief. If I can behave really quickly. Like I said, you have to bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out StreamYard. There it is, layout 1. And share. Hopefully you can see these. I don't know if you can see very well. But here are some iron-rich foods. Dried fruits like apricots and figs. There's that process of drying them increases the iron levels or the accessible iron in them. So those things are really good to snack on. Baked beans, which are haricot beans, they're very good. Black-eyed beans, chickpeas, lentils, pine nuts, mung beans, all sorts of things. Peas as well. They're really, really good sources of iron. Wholemeal, I think it's the wheat germ in the wholemeal anything that causes or that provides you with iron. Did you also know that spices contain iron? Cumin, turmeric, and thyme, those types of things. Breakfast cereals, because that's wholemeal as well. Let me see what else is going on here. Spinach, spaghetti. Oh yeah, whole wheat, of course. Swiss chard, tofu, because that's soybeans. Soybeans are really good for that kind of thing. Lots of nuts and things like that. So you have lots and lots of options. Let's just click that. Lots of options for iron sources. Okay. Now, like I said, all your foods work together to help your body function properly. Let's move on to point number 3. Sorry, I'm still holding the child in my arms, so this is trickier than I anticipated. All right, so have a regular routine, and it must include washing regularly. So not going for weeks on end without washing. There's this myth I've heard somewhere, or this misconception, that dirty hair grows faster. That's not true. So I had a picture to show you, but I couldn't open it on my computer. Otherwise, I'd have shown you right now. I think I'm going to put that on my Instagram with a warning before it. But yeah, what happens when your scalp is dirty? We have what we call a microflora and microfauna on our body. Microflora are little organisms, things like bacteria, not viruses, bacteria and fungi that just live on your body. They live there, they mind their business, they don't do anything to you unless something causes them to overgrow or causes them to move to the wrong place. So things that live on your scalp shouldn't be found on your feet, etc., if you know what I mean. So something that lives on our scalp, if I can remember, I remember the name, Malassezia. Malassezia is a yeast type fungus that lives on your scalp normally. Just minds its business. It likes to live there because it likes to eat your sebum. Sorry about the grossness, but I'm just telling you the truth, because people think that when they leave their hair and they scratch their scalp and they see flakes falling from their scalp, that it's dry scalp, so they need to put more oil. That's another video for another time. In fact, they're making things worse. What's actually happening is that the Malassezia has had an opportunity to grow and overgrow, and it's caused inflammation and irritation on your scalp, which has caused your skin to overgrow to kind of react to that, and it just becomes a big old mess, big, greasy, uncomfortable mess. This inflammation and inflammation are not good things for any part of the body, not any part of the body. In fact, continued inflammation is one of the things that leads to cancer. I'm not trying to scare people here, but I'm just saying inflammation is a bad thing. So irritating any part of your body or annoying any part of your body and continuing to do that can lead to inflammation. So that's why we need to keep certain things clean, but not use harsh chemicals on them that will cause irritation. So washing your scalp regularly helps to remove the buildup of whatever products you've used that week, whatever skin cells have fallen off at that time, whatever skin cells have exfoliated at that time. It helps to remove excess Malassezia as well. Just whatever has landed on your scalp, you can wash it all off and allow your scalp to breathe. Because again, you've got to remember that your scalp follicles, the follicles on your hair, on your scalp, are a lot like the pores on your skin. You don't want to put heavy things on your skin to block your pores, so don't do that to your follicles. Once you block them, they become irritated, which leads to inflammation, which means that they can't work as effectively in terms of growing hair. So have a regular routine that includes washing regularly. And I have to say this because some people come to me and say, oh, my hair is not growing or it breaks a lot. And then I ask, okay, what conditioner are you using? And they say, I don't use a conditioner. Like, okay. Some people can survive on washing their hair with bar soap and just putting oils on it. Some people can. Your hair is breaking because your hair is obviously not the type that can survive on that. So I'm not bashing anybody who does have that kind of routine for their hair. But if you want maximum results, you're going to have to employ products that have an effect on your hair that will protect the hair. What conditioners do is that they stick proteins, they stick compounds to the outside of your hair. They form films over your hair. A film is like, think about cling film. Think about what cling film does when you cover something with it. That's what they do. Oop, somebody's awake. Oh, and he's going back to sleep. Okay. Ow. Okay. So they put a film over your hair, which protects it from water loss, protects it from damage, and also conditioners are also very, very good at providing less friction between your hair strands so that they don't go around themselves and tie up into knots or pull off scales from the outside of them, from the outside surface or anything like that. So that's the purpose of a conditioner. Now, there are several types of conditioners. I'm mentioning only 2 today. I'm mentioning deep conditioners because if you don't want to buy a ton of products, a deep conditioner is one of the things you need. He's not happy. It's not comfortable at all. You need a deep conditioner and you need a leave-in conditioner. A leave-in conditioner you have to pick correctly based on what your hair needs and also what the weather is like or what the season is like. So can you go to bed, please? Go to bed. No, bed. Go to bed. A leave-in conditioner, its job is to create slip between your hair strands to make it easier to detangle, obviously, to create a film over your hair to protect it from the elements, and also to moisturize the hair as well. It can also contain other things that can help with shine, that can help with heat protection, that can help with, there's one particular thing that I'm thinking about and it's just not coming to me. Drawing moisture to your hair. So it can contain humectants to help draw moisture towards your hair. But that's up to you to choose that kind of thing. And I'm still on the series with talking about ingredients in products is coming up after this. So after today, I'm going to be doing, I think I'll just do one single video, kind of like this one, that will just talk about all of that. Oh, it's just got such an itchy nose today. That'll talk about all of that and just cover all of that so you can understand it. Right. So yeah, you need your conditioners. Don't do the thing with if your hair's breaking, then you need something to help protect it, period. Deep conditioners are very, very good at penetrating the hair, adding additional molecules to help strengthen the hair and add moisture to the inside of the hair. Those are what you really want deep conditioners for. They work better when you use a little bit of heat, so you can put a shower cap on your head and sit under a steam cap, or you can just wrap your head and just go about your business. And the warmth from your scalp, emanating from your scalp, will help them to work a bit. But I really do think a little bit of a higher temperature will work better. Okay, so regular routine. This must be done every single week. I would say protein treatments don't have to be done every single week because everybody's hair needs different amounts of protein. Some people's hair, it's better to just leave the protein. But like I said, it's not everybody that can just live on bar soap and oil alone. Just think about it that way. Think about what your hair is doing and think about what it might need. Number 4, stop touching it. This is a very short, very simple point. This is not my usual habit, but even if I was to leave my hair fairly open and alone for a while, these days, because of my edges, I don't do cornrows very much. I try not to do my twists right at the front or anything like that because I want to let my edges, they are growing back, as you can see. That's why I've got lots of tiny short hairs at the front. But he's just staring at the screen. Yeah. Okay. Stop touching it. You don't have to change your hairstyle every week. Bless you. You can choose a hairstyle that can, and I used to say this, I said this in one of my other videos. I'm going to just link it there. I'm going to link it there. I'm going to link the video to that up there in post. So what was I trying to say? It's really hard to keep track sometimes when I'm being distracted by cute people. Your hairstyle can evolve over the week. Your hairstyle evolving over the week would enable you to get in there and put some additional moisture to cleanse your scalp if you need to. Do you know what I mean? I'll do a video separately showing you the kind of hairstyles that you can do that with. In fact, it'll probably be one of my reels that I'll bring to YouTube as well to make it a short on YouTube. But yeah, don't touch it as much. So set it and forget it. Do a style on your wash day that will survive. Let's say, for example, a very gentle style on hair and scalp is twists, but some people's hair can't do twists. Some people's hair doesn't agree with twists. That's just it. Some people's hair don't agree with plaits. So there are lots of different things we can do. There are things like this threading. There is banding. That can be done and left alone for a week. You just have to figure out how to do it so that it meets your lifestyle or works with your lifestyle. There is braids, like I said. You can do individual braids with your own hair. There is twists. All those things can be done. And if you happen to work outside of the home, you can cover your hair with, depending on what is considered appropriate work dress. You can actually wear a scarf or wear a wig over that during the week. I used to be a teacher, so I used to wear a wig. I'd just wash my hair. I didn't have edge problems at the time. I'd wash my hair on my wash day, do my deep condition, then just put my hair in cornrows, and that's me done for the week, right? I'm not touching that hair again for the rest of the week. I would just wear a wig every day to work, and that was that. That was that. That was that for the week. So that was number 4. Leave-in conditioners, deep conditioners. Using only oils will get you the best hair ever. No, that's not true. Okay, so let's go to, oh no, I've done that one as well. Stop touching it. Yeah, that was point number 5. I've done stop touching it. Have I? Oh no, that was number 4. I beg your pardon, sorry. Number 5, very, very important. Sleep. This is very, very hard for people. A lot of people in this age range, grown-ups generally, especially if you have kids or a very demanding job, it's very hard for us, but we need to make an effort. We need to reclaim whatever sleep we can claim. If possible, we need to make time to get a strip of sleep that is between 6 and 7 hours. It varies. The research is not exactly, it goes from about 6 hours to 8 hours. I've seen up to 10 in certain places, but everybody's body is different. What I have done with some of my clients in the past is given them a test to check how long their body needs for rest. Hello. I told them, so I would say, or I would ask, so what time do you need to be awake in the morning? Okay, let's count 8 hours back from that and then go to bed at that time. Just whatever it was that you were planning to do this evening, you need to do it. You need to do it earlier this evening. Just get it out of the way so that you can do this test. And we do this test for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. Ideally, it's better to do the test longer to see how long your body actually needs to sleep. Let yourself sleep. You will either naturally wake up when your body is ready to wake up, or you will wake up. Now, the reason why I make the test as long as I make it is because initially you'll be waking up based on what your body is used to doing, and also the anxiety of, oh, I don't want to oversleep. So once your body is used to that, I'm going to bed at, let's say I'm trying to give somebody 8 hours and they want to wake up at 4. That means they have to go to bed at 8, right? They have to go to bed at 8. It's not great to sleep at 8, but I'm like, well, you wake up at 4. What can I do? It might end up with the person waking up at 3 a.m. because they only needed 7 hours. But the point is, if that happens several times in a row, we now know that person's body needs 7 hours sleep. Period. That's it. So you can do that little test with yourself if you want to. Try for a week, sleeping, giving yourself 8 hours before you need to wake up, and seeing when your body naturally wakes up. And then you know how many hours your body actually needs to function. Right, sleep. Sleep is the time wherein your body is able to do repair, it's able to do healing, it's able to do certain metabolic processes that it doesn't do while you're awake. Because while you're awake, it's focusing on other things and it needs to be fully focused on those other things. While you're asleep, you are not challenging it to do all these other things, so it's able to do those other things that it needs to do when you're asleep. So if you can, make an effort to catch a restful sleep. Don't put your phone anywhere near you. Don't have lights on. Don't have any noise in the background. I mean, unless you're one of those people that needs noise to sleep, then that's a different thing. But try to wind down before you sleep. So 2 hours before I'm supposed to go to bed, usually I switch everything off. I've been really bad this last couple of months actually, but that's mostly because I know I'm going to get my sleep interrupted anyway. So I haven't really been caring for myself as well as I should have. Which takes me on to my bonus point. Be kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself includes taking time to do self-care. Self-care can be something as simple as making yourself a cup of tea, taking some time to meditate. I used to do a lot of mindfulness once upon a time, but now I'm just so busy I don't do as much as I'd like to. But once in a while when I'm going a bit nuts, I will just pause right in the middle of the madness and close my eyes and breathe. Deep breathing is good. It just helps to reset your sense of well-being and balance. And of course, when you feel good about yourself, when you are nice to yourself, you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, that well-being is really, really good for you. You can see on a person when they are healthy on the inside. They feel good, so they feel good, if you see what I mean. Because things like extreme or chronic stress, and when I say chronic, I mean long-term stress, those things really, really affect how your body and your metabolism work. And when those things are affected, again, body puts everything before your hair. Your hair is not going to flourish if you're not flourishing. So make sure you are flourishing. Look after you. And at the end of the day, you can't pour out of an empty jug. All these tips that I've given, with the exception of the very, very specific, hair-specific tips, are tips that will help you improve your life so that you can feel better and enjoy your life more. And when you enjoy your life more, other people can enjoy you more, you know? So start by filling up your own jug. Take care of yourself. Get a good night's sleep. Drink the water you need to drink. Exercise when you need to exercise. Don't pull my hair. That was not one of my points. Don't yo-yo diet and just eliminate stuff out of your diet. Don't guilt trip yourself about eating things that you're like, oh, I shouldn't eat that. What's so funny? Don't guilt trip yourself about eating things. Just take, what's this word? Decisive action about how you are going to feel about that. Because when you feel shame about eating certain things, that makes it even more difficult to quit those things. So don't shame yourself for anything. Say, yeah, I deserve that chocolate. Now, back to work, if you know what I mean. And the work is eating the right things to get to your hair goals and your body goals. You see what I mean? I'm on a journey myself, doing exactly the same things I've just advised you to do. I'm on that journey because it's not something that you can just master overnight. It's not something that, in fact, we'll probably always be working on these things. In the meantime, this little dude doesn't want to let me finish what I'm doing. It is now time, if you would like to ask me questions. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Oh, am I still in that view? I just realized probably still in that view. Oh, it's not showing. Just realized it's not showing. So let's do, there we go. Time to ask questions. If you have any questions, if you happen to be watching the replay, now you can still type questions in the comment section. Feel free to do so. I will be happy to answer them in a video or live or directly in the comment section. This has been great. I've enjoyed doing what I do, nattering on and being nerdy about hair. And if you have anything else you'd like me to post about, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is at theChiOhi. And I'm at theChiOhi on Instagram and on Twitter, actually. So feel free to DM me, comment on one of my pictures. Please go follow and like anything that you like. And I'll see you in the next live video, which is going to be next Wednesday. Actually, the next video on this channel is going to be an enlightenmental video. And then Wednesday, we're going to have a live reaction to some hair stuff. And then another Fur Friday. So see you guys next week. Have a nice weekend.